Coach, hold on to your answer for Tsepo's question. Let's wait for his mic, but we'll take this one here. Lawrence, Itiski Times.
Coach, obviously this is Jose Rivero, your opposition coach's first season in the PSL. Obviously you've studied him now, playing against him a couple of times. What have you made of what he's brought to the PSL, and has he brought something different and something new that you've noticed from a tactical perspective?
Yeah, Jose has done fantastically well this season in terms of the strides he made at the club, at Pirates, creating an identity as well. And this is the type of coaches that we should be attracting to the PSL in terms of adding value to the product, in terms of helping our development in South Africa as a country, where football is going. I think Pirates at this stage, there's a clear identity of attractive attacking football, and that's how you want football to be played at the end of the day as well. So that identity is clear. Also with the strikers coach, and now we also work with Coach Mandla as well. So I think they've bridged some gaps there between foreign coaches coming into the country as well, and just not adding numbers, but actually adding quality to the league.
Next question. I see a lot of hands here, so let's keep the mic here. Clyde, so supersport.com.
Thank you. Afternoon, coach, and congratulations on reaching the final. You have a big squad. I think when you travel, you have about 18 players that remain training behind with the other coach. How many of them are available for this final, and what are weaknesses that you'll be looking to exploit from Pirates? Thank you.
Yeah, we were hoping to have a full quota of players available. Unfortunately, some guys failed their fitness test this morning. So the likes of Kabwe, Zambian captain, is not available for this game. We have the likes of Linda also, former Pirates player, that's not available. So yeah, as much as the bloated squad is there, we had to separate the quantity from the quality, and then of course that aids the training. But except for minor injuries, I would say 90%, 95% of the squad is available for this election. In terms of Pirates, there's not much we can say. I think the football and the results speaks for itself. Q Innovation, the Indian top 8 coaches nominated for coach of the season as well. So everything's in their favor to win the cup.
Let's move right along, my brother there.
Good morning, coach. It's Fhatuwani Mpfuni from Teta FM in Deval. Coach, you played against Orlando Pirates in Orlando. You played 1-1. Going into this game, it's a different game. That was a league game. Now it's a cup final. What do you think, or what do you see will be different to this game? What approach will you be using to this game, as it's a cup final and it's not a league game that you played at all with Orlando Pirates at Orlando Stadium?
Yeah, like I said now, the league format to cup competition is totally different. And being a final, this is the only game that matters at the moment. What we're reading into Pirates as well, you look at the last league game against Amazulu. So offensive, so many scoring chances created, and put four past Amazulu as well. They had the likes of Lords coming back for that game, and it's a big game player. So at this moment, we'll soak it up. We went to Pirates to soak up the pressure, hoping to get them on a counter. Maybe it will be the same approach this week as well. So, but we have to respect them for what they are doing at the moment, and read into their game plan. They overload so much in attack. So yeah, but that is the strength at the moment. We have to see how we can overcome that, and then have to formulate the plan where we can get out at certain moments and make the right decisions in certain situations as well. Of course, the planning. Of course, like I said, now a few players are still passing fitness tests this morning. and only had after our league game only had 2 seasons. So yeah, it's a lot to cramp into wanting to change anything from our league game, and also the last game from against Pirates.
Okay, we've got Karabo and then Mahlatsi. I've noted Velile as well.
Good afternoon, Coach. Karao from Supersport. Coach, where does this, cup final rank in your footballing career? And secondly, Dane Clade's spoken about something that's massively important, playing, the match. I think, this is the club's first cup final in their history. I think, 2 or 3 seasons in the top division. How do you calm the nerves? I mean, and how do you ensure that these players play the football match and not occasion? Because, there's, as I said, there might be a couple of nerves in that dressing room or the camp as it stands. Thank you.
Yeah, luckily for me, I have some internationals in the team. Badra Sangari, Ivory Coast, Zambian captain. Roderick, Cowboy, you have Toaster. There's Kadoso, there's Chima. There's so many players. Vilagasi, Kamo, who's played at the highest level. Guys who's actually competed in some very, very big games, international games, cup finals as well. And those are the guys that's controlling the atmosphere at the moment. Together with myself and the senior players as well, we control as much as we can. It's just not down to the coach as well. Players play their part off the field as well, especially with guiding the other guys. For the club, for the management and the supporters, it's their occasion. They can celebrate and go on as much as they want to, but for the players, it's another match at this moment. Yes, the magnitude of the match is different to the league game, so we have to get it right in terms of the mentality, and that's what we've been speaking about whole week. It's another football game, and let's try and sort out as much as we can in terms of a full stadium, in terms of the media, in terms of everything. So let's remain focused, and this is our last game of the season.
All right, Mahlatsi. Tsepo, we're going to come back to your question.
Good afternoon, Coach. I'm here. Coach, obviously this is about the club. The club becomes important, but there's also that element of you as an individual. You're a guy who, for the longest time, you sort of bided your time in the lower divisions and all those kinds of things, and until not so long ago you got an opportunity with Swallows in the PSL. And what will this thing really mean to you? Also, will it be a message to junior coaches out there that is possible, and you feel that you'll come out of age if you go all the way and win this tournament?
Thank you. Yeah, of course, it's a cup final. It will rank up there with objective achieved. But I remember opening the season with the conference with the league, with all the coaches as well. And when I said CAF spot, when I said cup final, some of you guys were laughing. Purely because I'm not sure if it's disrespect or anything, or how did you come to that conclusion, but with my journey, leaving Richards Bay on top and coming to Swallows at 15th position and winning the league, first season ending top 6, coming second season semi-final of the MTN8 with Swallows, and then getting fired, and then going to AmaZulu, first 8 games, 6 wins, from 12 into top 8 again. And then again, semi-final of the top 8. So it's always been there, and luckily for me, there's guys who speak about these things. I'm not one to blow my own horn, but in terms of my progression and my growth, I have to surround myself also with a very good technical team that we can manage this clubs, these players, and the guys around me is absolutely important. It's just not about me. I speak about what I've achieved, but there's always been along the line, God has been there first, and then the technical team and the guys around me that I surround myself with. So yeah, it stands out as an achievement. I'm hoping and praying that it's not a loss, but for now, it's my first cup final. I've been close on a few times, and yeah, as I said, thank God at this moment that I'm there.
Before Velile, let's just go back to Tsepo. Could you just repeat your question?
Thanks, Tsepo from ENCA. Coach, congrats on reaching the final. Just the lessons you learned from the 2 matches you played against the same opposition in the league, going into the final. And then there's thin margins in terms of who's the favorite and underdog, but I'm sure you've seen throughout the week, Pirates are overwhelming favorites. How do you go into a match with that setup? Thanks.
Yeah, for the first game with the win, I wasn't there because Tano Timber was still in charge at that time. In the second league game, it was the art of defending. It's an art as well, and it takes a lot of coaching and a lot of understanding and awareness as well. As much as people talk about parking the bus, you can look at the Italians, how they do it. And once we do it here in South Africa, it's negative football. But you have to have a plan also. Even if you're parking the bus, you have to get out somehow. In terms of reading into the game plan, the second part of your question, TT, I lost it now, sorry. Underdogs, yeah. I've said it already. We are underdogs. Everything's in Pirates' corner. But being underdogs also release a bit of pressure. You understand, and that's how we're managing it at the moment as well. We're going there without pressure. I think all the pressure is on Pirates to win another cup as well. But yeah, for us it's about the occasion. Being underdogs, we welcome the tag as well.
Yeah. Okay. Coach, just to look at your season, I think you found Sekhukhune down there on the log, and fast track now, you've qualified them to play in the CAF interclub competitions for the first time. You're in the final, and I think looking at yourself and Pirates, you've lost only 1 game in the last 10 matches. I think Pirates is unbeaten in the last 12 matches. How do you reflect on your season, and where do you think there was this turning point this season for you?
Yeah, there's so many accolades, so many achievements this season, except for the cup final. As a team, going to CAF, being in a cup final from 15 to 8, MTN 8. From the goalkeeper in 20 games, 10 clean sheets. In the 22 with the cup games as well, it takes it up to 15 clean sheets in 22 games. Kadoso, Jima, written off. Jima's played every single minute of the league, including the cup final. I don't think there's any player in the league that played more minutes than him. Jima Pelagasi, that was written off and thrown out and said so many things about in the media. Kamo, long-term injury, coming back to South Africa. Nobody wanted to take a chance on him. The medical team nursed him back. We aided his progression, helped him with the rehab and managed the progression into the field. There's so much accolades except for what is there in front of the club. As a coach, I'm extremely proud of the technical team and the staff that works behind the scene and help with this progress. So there's so much that's been achieved at Sekhukhune as well. From the chairman this morning addressing the players as well. We've been the laughing stock at 15th position, coming in December. But luckily for me, that break, the World Cup break, helped us in working on a lot of things. The lack of confidence, the seeing of your own ability, where you can go, being written off, mental, psychology, everything. So yeah, as much as the cup final is there, Sekhukhune as a club have achieved a lot this season.
Okay, we've got Penduro there, Tedisan, Praloid, I've noted you.
Not Tedisan anymore.
Coach.
Oh, you're no longer, okay, sorry.
Transfer.
Coach,
he's a freelancer. Let's
do the story here, freelance coach. Coach, I was there after your first game of your season. Unfortunately, we still with Amazulu, and I remember you said that you had a plan and the vision of bringing trophies for the club. But how do you then go to Sekhukhune in the middle of the season and influenced the vision you had on winning trophies this season and qualifying for a CAF spot in a team, as you said, that's already written off so far this season? Thank you.
Yeah, I think our win is I was fired at Amazulu, so luckily, yeah. But from the outside, maybe people don't know there was I think it was in the media. There was a whole interview process with the coaches linked to the club, and with that interviews and that processes, I had to do a lot of research. In terms of what the players that was there, in terms of the lock position, I had to look at the goals scored, goals conceded, formulate the plan also. In terms of the players that was available, because ultimately players make the formation and not the formation the players, and that's the plan and the research that I had to first get and compile before going into that interview. And then, of course, going to interview, coming up with solutions. I think the first thing I said was we conceded too many goals. I think at that stage it was around about 17 goals already. At this moment we've conceded 22. That's I think it was about 16 goals because we conceded 22 now, and the clean sheets is there. So that was the first situation that I had to address. But the solutions and the plans that we have, the puzzle came together nicely with the close of the season in the cup final. So it's so far so good. I think there's still more to come from Sekhukhune. If we get it right during pre-season and keep the core and do some good business in the transfer market, I think we'll maybe and hopefully better this season.
Last round of questions, starting with Prof. Floyd there from the SABC.
First of all, I would like to thank the PSL as well as Nedbank Cup for making this to happen, and I would like to think this is history in the making, since Sekhukhune making it to Africa as well as to Nedbank Cup. The question is going to the coach. Why do you believe that you are underdog? And then secondly, it is said that you are actually planning to drive your rear via pass and park it there, snatch and grab. Is it true that you are going to do that? Because we, the soccer-loving people, would like to see a beautiful game. So then one goal and then park your rear via pass and take it. Kiona, we go home. Is that true?
It's been a tactic for us. So far, one has won us a lot of games this season, especially with coming in. But it's tactic. It's occasion at this moment. We would like to give the fans an open game as much as we hope to, but at the same time, the chairman is also yearning for a trophy. So we'll see how we manage that process. In terms of being the underdogs as well, I think the log table. I think the champions of the MTN 8 have played in cup finals. Their last league game as well, 4-0 win. That makes them overwhelming favourites for this game.
Thank you, Taloit, for that question. Are there any takers for the last two questions? Let's go to Prani there at the back, Ikoli News. If we can get a microphone to him. I've noted you, Clyde. I'm just looking for new hands. Oh, there's a new hand here. Okay. Prani?
Right, thank you. My name is Nitrele. I'm from Ekoli. Coach, most Mzansi coaches are scared to put their heads on the block to say, I will win or I will lose. Now, I want to make you one of those who speaks their mind and be a trendsetter. I want to put it to you straight away. You've got a platform, it's a cup final. Now, I'll put it this way. Who's going to win on Saturday? Or I will try and beat Paris and take the cup. Or I will beat Paris. Choose between the two.
I think the team that scores the most goals will win on Saturday. And
that team will be?
it's just that I can say I will try and win the cup. So yeah, like I said, everything at this moment is in Pirates' corner. A lot of it is going for them. And Jose has made tremendous strides for their team. You can see the confidence in them as well. So hopefully we'll surprise some people on Saturday as well. But at this moment, our clean sheet speaks a lot for our tactics. And like the other thing is that's a once-off game, and that makes it a bit of a guessing game in terms of us. For Pirates, it's clear. They're attacking football, attractive football, and they will put up a spectacle for the supporters. We are playing second fiddle as underdogs, and hopefully upset everybody that supports them. But that's for Saturday. Football is a difficult game to predict, but we do fancy our chances, and all I can say on behalf of the team is that being in the final, we're not there by luck.
All right, we are wrapping up. I've noted you, Temba, you'll actually be the last hand, but let's go to Chris Dube. Do we have a microphone for him? Let's also take this opportunity to welcome the Premier, the first citizen of the Gauteng province. Let's just acknowledge his presence. Thank you, Premier. Chris, yeah.
Thanks, Fatu. Coach, this is a path into Africa. How much do you as a coach know about this, the Confederation Cup, and what do you think your squad will need, having seen what Maruma Gallants and your opponents have even done well there in Africa? What do you think your squad will need to perform in Africa, and are you confident going into Africa?
Of course, with the Maruma Gallants situation, you have to be very careful with playing in Africa. I've been involved in the Champions League with Amazulu after being left, so I do know the situations and the challenges that you face in Africa as well. In terms of the squad, we have 5 internationals that plays for the national team: Badra, Sangari, Toaster, Roderick. There's so many as well. So that experience for them, even for Bafana internationals as well. So that experience that's already there, I think that will aid us well going into Africa. In terms of the squad makeup, in terms of the depth as well, I mentioned it earlier that we would like to kick on from this season in terms of the domestic league, but of course going to Africa is something that we have to research and see, do we need to cut, do we need to add. But the experience of playing in Africa and playing in big games, the squad is, I wouldn't say packed with it, but we have players that have been there and done it.
Thank you, Coach. Last question, Temba Shabalala, Josie FM.
You've introduced me so well, thank you, sir. Coach, I always like to look at your play technically. Block of 7. I've noticed that you do it so well, going forward with 3. But in this game, you're coming against the Orlando Pirates that comes to you with the whole 9. And everyone and anyone can attack. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But looking at this game, for me, it says it's got extra time. Is that why you're looking to take it to seeing that you've got a way of playing the deep block and you can actually go all the way with that? And are your players quick and equipped enough to do that? And the role of Morgan Gold in that defense, because that's what he did so well.
Yeah, Morgan Gold has been fantastic. The transition from player to coach, he took it as a duck to water. It's about getting his qualifications now, and that's what he's looking for now during this off season. But his experience as a player at the high level and also at former big teams as well. Some big teams, that experience is absolutely immense in terms of the defenders that's there. In terms of our block, we have reinforced that it was a block of 8. in our last game against Pirates. So yeah, we have some quick players that can come out from a deep block. But in terms of them, yeah, they do commit a lot in attack. As much as it's the strength, it can also be the weakness. With Pirates going into the game as confident as the public and myself assume as well, there will be spaces to exploit, and we're hoping to exploit the spaces, whether it's from deep or make it as uncomfortable for them on Saturday as we possibly can, and try and turn the 50-50 challenges in the small 1v1 battles in our favor, and then I'm sure we can manage that. In terms of going into extra time, that has not been a taught. We have not practiced penalties or looked at this, so yeah, we'll see how it goes.